So, Brian, the $1 million question I get asked is, what kind of return can I expect from real alt?
Well, I'm gonna throw that back to you because I'm not the dealing rep, so I have some certain obligations. So I'm gonna answer for me. I like to earn double-digit returns, but that's you can tell them what the OM says.
So let's just go back to this slide here. If every year could be as good as this year, we'd be thrilled. It would make my job very easy. So, at a 12-month distribution yield sitting around 10.45%, annualized return on investment of 17.03%, and sitting at a loan to value just under 54%. I think that would qualify us as a premium risk-adjusted return. I know you said you can't.
Yeah, but tell us what the OM says so I don't get in trouble.
So what the OM really says, is that we have a target. We set out an investment rate for a target of 7 to 10% a year in annualized distribution yield.
Yeah.
We can't guarantee returns like a GIC, but our goal at Real Alt Investments is to under-promise and over-deliver. The next question a lot of people in here might be wondering, because they haven't done private lending before, is what is loan to value and why is that so crucial to evaluating?
Oh, yeah, so going back to that other question, just in case, so loan to value is just what it sounds like. Okay, so the loan amount, let's say it's $100, and the value of my property is $200, the loan to value would be 50%. So we try to ensure that there's a good equity buffer above our loan. Question?
Do you use AVMs or do you rely on CRAs or ACIs for your
Generally, because this is income producing and it's a little more complex, it would be an ACI, generally. We, on the other hand, value it ourselves. And I think we're so good, most of the, and I'm going to take credit, but it's really my underwriters. We're so good that most of the appraisal firms call us for values. Like, what would you do, Brian? I'm like, well, we would do it this way. So we have different methodologies. We do by either cost or income approach. And we do this internally anyway. So the other thing we do a lot of is land residual analysis. So we can actually tell you what a raw piece of dirt is worth. So we're very good at that. So since we're good at that, then we can go backwards and build up a project with 6 ways. So we really think with the end in mind, and we can look at any piece of real estate, almost any piece of real estate, and figure out what it's worth. But we don't trust ourselves. We always go to a third party. Yeah. So, and it's usually an ACI.
That's a great question.
Does everybody know what an ACI is? Okay. So there's just backing up on appraisal technology or terminology. So a certified residential appraiser is someone who you go to if you wanted to get your house appraised. I don't want to go into the in-between stage, and then there's guys that do it for cost or whatever. But an ACI is the highest designation for an appraisal, and with that they account for income, cost, and the market itself. They give you an evaluation based on all three, and they're usually found in larger appraisal firms, like Colliers or CBRE or some of the big realtors. So the ACI is, and the reports are worth, somewhere between $5,000 to $20,000. So they're not cheap reports. So, although I'd expect to pay only the $5,000 for these ones. So.
I think.
Do you have more questions?
I've got more questions for you, Brian.
Okay.
So, a lot of investors ask, what if I want to get my money out?
Well, I think we have mechanisms, and I'm going to throw that back at you, but I'm just going to put a caveat here. So if you're investing in this type of project, we talk about liquidity. This is not generally a liquid product, right? So this is not one you should want to sort of, hey, I want to put my money here for 6 months and then pull it out. The fees, because of the way we invest, there'll be fees attached if you did it that quickly, okay? This is something you want to be in, generally speaking, 3, 4, 5 years, and get your income alternatives. So, but we are an open-ended fund. So we're not, it's not closed-ended. So that means you can. So you can quickly go over that one more time. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah. So it's quite a simple process. You put in a redemption. As you mentioned, the open-ended fund structure creates natural liquidity throughout the year. So we've got a closing where new capital inflows come in each month. We've also staggered our projects to come to completion throughout the year. We typically, when you put in a redemption request, you go into the redemption queue, and your redemption's filled at the soonest possible liquidity date available. Again, you should think of it as a longer-term investment, and that's why you're getting in a liquidity premium. But there are mechanisms for you to get your cash out, understanding that your life's dynamic.
Yeah. When we think that's important, but understand what you're doing. If you say, hey, I want this, I had a good friend of mine say, hey, I want to give you money for 6 months. I said, no, I don't want it. So even though I'd love to have this money as an investment, I just can't deal with that. So, this wouldn't be the right place if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah. So
Time. Does anyone have? Yes. Let's go.
I have a question about the strategy. Are you guys purchasing single-family properties and then converting them into 6-unit? So multifamily?
Yeah. So we're not actually the ones purchasing it. Okay. But we are investing. We're giving loans against exactly that. So if someone's a developer, a qualified developer that we've evaluated, you're a borrower, you have experience developing, you know how to build, you have enough capital on the side, you know what you're doing, then we would say, yeah, here we go, we will lend you the money on that, yes.
And so there's no issue with the zoning because you're mentioning so you already know that you can complete the single family, turn it into 6. Right?
Yes.
There's no problem with the zoning, you already know you can do that beforehand.
Yes.
Where would the complication come with deals like this? So where are the risks? Right?
Oh, well, the risks are, back to the same question, they're always the same. The risks are always the same. So if the borrower, for some reason, took all that liquidity that he had on the side and, went to Vegas or bought his new Porsche or bought another house that I didn't know about, okay, and then he comes to me later, hey, I got a small overrun and I got no more money, we got a problem. Okay, that's always a thing. And every project, by the way, has a problem. I've never done one that doesn't have a problem. I expect problems. We build in contingencies even in our budgets. We know that, okay, we're gonna have to fix this at some point, and we always build a contingency in every budget. But that's always number one problem, there's no liquidity outside. The other one is, maybe you got too many of these, and you decide, I'm gonna sit on this one for 5 months after you got my loan ticking at 12%, and then they come back to me and say, oh, I'm running out of money. Well, yeah, of course, because you've done nothing, right? So we have problems with that. In our for sale market that we're in right now, but this isn't the case, is that you'll find that where our exit strategies have to be a sale, that's a bit of a problem. That's just the market, right? That's not a borrower problem, but those happen too. So that constrains my liquidity, let's say if you want to do a redemption or something. But those are our typical problems. But the number one is don't have enough money, you don't keep your costs under control, and but we manage that, and we're very experienced at that.
What kind of real estate do you have in the fund besides just the single-family homes and single-family homes that are converted into 6 units? Are there big condos?
Yes, let me tell you what we got. We got some cool stuff. Okay, so we have a lot of, actually we have a good exposure in Simcoe County or Grey County, a large area just north of Shelburne called Dundalk. We've been investing there for 15 years, very successfully. We have some land holdings there, so it's sort of it wasn't supposed to be long-term land, but it's turning into long-term land. That's got good return with a good developer, and he's been good long-term client. And then we do have in the city some condo financing. We have a nice luxury building, which is complete and selling. Again, that's an exit strategy that's going. But our loan to values on that. So this is something that should sell for $1,300 a square foot, right? My loan to value on that is about 7. I personally would love it if they. Well, I like these guys, so I actually want them to pay us. But if I could buy one of these units at 700, it would be the best condo that you'll see in Toronto. So it's very good. We also have that's a little bit unusual to this is we also do some of our low-rise builders have pivoted. And then we've got an entire low-rise project that is gone rental, and so we've done a layered deal with a bank, and we're doing a mezzanine financing or a second mortgage with the bank, but we're managing it all, so it's like one giant first mortgage. We're getting great yield there. That's when we're making like 18%. But I know my takeouts. I know my CMHC takeouts because I worked at CMHC. I know exactly how much it's going to be when I get out. That was also underwritten at very low rents. So that would be kind of a variety, right?
Yeah.
I think I've got it
Yeah,
all.
so I think that's a good mix.
Yeah.
And Brian, one other thing to mention, typically we build in multiple exit strategies, right?
Oh,
How
yeah,
many
yeah.
do we build in?
Begin with the end in mind. So think of all the ways we can get out of the project. For sale, refinance, own it, rent it. So we have all these different strategies, and then we even know who's going to buy it half the time. So anyway, I can take more questions if people have them. I'm going to go to the booth.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. That
Okay.
was very insightful.
Thank you.